10 minutes of paradoxical time travel theories to chill to the river of time. Imagine standing on the bank of a wide, endless river. The water flows steadily forward, never backward. Most people imagine time this way: linear, irreversible, impossible to step out of. But what if the river wasn't as simple as it seems? What if currents looped, split, or circled back on themselves? This is the foundation of time travel theory. Whether time is a straight, unbroken line or a flexible, branching system. Physicists and philosophers alike have wrestled with whether the past, present, and future are fixed or malleable. Einstein's theory of relativity showed us that time isn't absolute. It bends with gravity and motion. That discovery cracked open the door to questions about whether rewinding or skipping ahead could ever be possible. If time is a rigid line, then every moment is locked forever, unchangeable. If it's more like a river with bends and currents, then perhaps traveling upstream or sideways is possible. This raises a quiet but haunting question. Are we prisoners of the present? Or are we swimmers unaware of the currents beneath the surface? And once we open the possibility of moving along the river of time, we encounter our first paradox. What happens when you try to change something that has already happened? The grandfather paradox. Picture this. You step into a time machine, travel back decades, and prevent your own grandfather from ever meeting your grandmother. In that single act, you erase your own existence. But if you never exist, who went back in time in the first place? This is the famous grandfather paradox, perhaps the most well-known of all time travel dilemmas. It's a loop of contradiction. Cause and effect collapse in on each other. Philosophers use it to test whether time travel is logically coherent at all. If the past can be changed, then paradoxes like this emerge. If the past is fixed, then no amount of time travel can alter it. The paradox leaves us with unsettling conclusions. Either time travel to the past is impossible, or the universe has built-in safeguards to prevent paradoxes from ever occurring. Some theories suggest that events would course correct themselves, no matter what actions you take, an almost mysterious resistance against altering history. Others imagine multiple timelines splitting off, one where you exist, and one where you never did. But paradoxes don't always involve changing the past. Sometimes they emerge when the past, present, and future fold in on themselves in stranger, subtler ways. The Bootstrap paradox. Imagine you're a struggling musician. One day, a mysterious stranger hands you a sheet of music, a brilliant composition. You perform it, become famous, and years later, you pass that very same sheet back in time to your younger self, who then actually wrote the song. This is the Bootstrap paradox, where an object, piece of knowledge, or even a person exists in a loop with no true origin. The name comes from the old phrase, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, an impossible act, much like an effect existing without a cause. In physics, it challenges our ideas about information, causality, and the arrow of time. A bootstrap loop creates unsettling scenarios. A book that was never written, only handed from future to past. A scientist who receives their own invention before they ever invent it. Where does the information come from? Is it infinite? Or is it trapped forever in a closed circle? It makes us wonder if reality itself could contain knowledge or matter without a true beginning. If bootstrap paradoxes show us that time can fold back on itself, then the next theory suggests that perhaps time isn't one stream at all, but a branching forest of endless possibilities. Many worlds, many timelines, every decision you make, every coin that flips, every molecule that moves. What if each possibility creates a new universe? A place where the other version of the story plays out. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that instead of paradoxes, time travel might simply split reality. If you go back and change something, you don't erase your own timeline, you just create another. In this way, paradoxes dissolve because every outcome can exist, each in its own universe. This theory is both comforting and unsettling. Comforting because it neatly sidesteps paradoxes. You can't erase yourself. You only create another branch. Unsettling, because it means every choice you make might exist somewhere else, endlessly. Are there infinite versions of you? Some better, some worse, some unrecognizable? And if all possibilities are real, what does that say about free will? But even if infinite timelines exist, there's still a mystery. If time travel is possible, why don't we see time travelers everywhere? That question leads us to one final paradox: the time traveler's silence. If time travel is possible, even in the far future, shouldn't we have already seen travelers among us? Strangers in unusual clothes, advanced devices hidden in plain sight? Yet we don't. Or perhaps, we don't notice them. This is often called the time traveler's paradox, or sometimes tied to the Fermi paradox of time travel. The logic is simple. If it can happen, why hasn't it? Some suggest time travelers might be bound by rules or ethics not to interfere. Others imagine they blend in, unnoticed. Or maybe our reality is quarantined, isolated from tampering to preserve its integrity. The silence itself becomes a kind of paradox. Maybe time travel only moves forward, not back. Maybe travelers come from timelines we can never perceive. Or maybe the very act of looking for them ensures we'll never find them. The absence leaves us with a lingering, mysterious unease. Are we alone in our timeline, or simply unaware of who walks beside us? And so, as we drift back into the steady current of the present moment, we leave behind paradoxes, loops, and branching worlds. Time, whether linear or infinite, remains the greatest mystery we live inside of, an endless question that keeps flowing, whether we chase it or not.